From a social perspective, there are many issues evident in Kayla's life. Kayla's social behaviour may be putting her at risk of participating in dangerous activities. She is withdrawn from others, at times absent from class, and has an older group of friends who have been in trouble for using drugs. When considering all of these factors, it seems as though Kayla can be categorised as an at-risk adolescent. She may be at risk of peer pressure and influence, and at risk of attempting dangerous activities. The age of adolescence brings with it poor decision-making skills and a lack of being able to rationalise and evaluate risk. The period in life also brings about a higher rate of participation in dangerous activity. When considering that adolescents are more inclined to take risks and have disruptive behaviour, we also need to consider that their disruptive actions are largely influenced by feelings and social influences to fully understand the actions of Kayla. Hot cognition refers to thinking under conditions of strong feelings or high arousal. Many factors could be contributing to her absenteeism and being withdrawn. Being more physically mature than other 12 to 13-year-old girls in her year might have caused problems with Kayla, bringing about issues of jealousy in other girls, causing Kayla to keep to herself and resist opening up to others. This could also explain why she hangs out with older students, and this group of friends might be rebellious and may be influencing or pressuring her into doing things. Kayla's issues can be viewed from the perspective that her behaviour, personality and absenteeism might be largely influenced by her peers. Kayla has friends, meaning she does not lack social skills, and this does not explain Kayla's absences and being withdrawn from others. The friends Kayla has, however, might be the reason she isn't focused or engaged with classwork. We can build on and utilise Kayla's social skills to help her grow more positive relationships that can benefit her time at school. Relationships play a big role on a student's school life. The degree of emotional bonding that exists among students has a profound effect on student behaviour. The more positive the relationship among students and between students and faculty, the lower the absenteeism and dropout rates. Teachers can intervene here by not only building a trusting relationship with Kayla, but more importantly building positive classroom relationships for Kayla through cooperative learning. Students working cooperatively tend to be more involved in activities and tasks, attach greater importance to success, and engage in more on-task behaviour and less apathetic, off-task, disruptive behaviours. Facilitating this group work in class might get Kayla to engage with content and with other students her own age. This might lead her to get to know some other students and build new friendships. Providing Kayla with these engaging classroom activities that encourage participation and communication might allow her to be less withdrawn and give her the opportunity to open up and speak her mind, and enjoy class and find the content challenging and engaging enough to keep her attending class. While this intervention strategy cannot facilitate for what Kayla does outside of class or who she interacts with outside of school, it can give Kayla a push in the right direction. Cooperative learning can create bonds within the groups Kayla is in and provide a willingness to listen to and be influenced by colleagues, commitment to each other's professional growth and success, and productivity.
Kayla's early physical maturation in comparison to her peers has increased her risk for developing psychological, behavioural and social problems. These problems may include poor conduct, illicit substance use, as well as emotional issues such as anxiety and depression. The increases in risk described associated with Kayla's early development may be contributing to her decline in academic performance as well as disassociation and difficulties with peers her own age. It could also be influencing her choice to hang around students that are older than her who have been disciplined previously for drug use. In Western cultures, a higher value is placed on thinness in regards to female physical appearance. For girls like Kayla, early maturation will typically lead to a shorter, heavier appearance which has a negative connotations in relation to body image. The early changes in appearance could also be a reason why Kayla is hanging around students not of her own age. Older boys in particular may be giving Kayla more attention, which can influence her behavioural decisions. Poor body image and body dissatisfaction among adolescent girls is a serious problem, with a prevalence ranging from 57 to 84%. Body image is viewed as a multi-dimensional construct in which dissatisfaction can refer to one's appearance, various body parts, as well as physical characteristics and attributes. Based on the information presented, an approach which could be implemented to help Kayla is the Body Think program. This program aims at addressing social and emotional issues that can be attributed to poor body image. The purpose of this program is to promote students' media literacy skills and build positive self-esteem and body confidence. More specifically, it aims to teach young people how to focus on their strengths, that diversity and difference is normal, and finally to educate students on the influence the media can have. Through the use of various activities and interactive tasks, students at the completion of the program have been empowered to view themselves more positively via a greater understanding of what is happening to them. These outcomes are particularly important and relevant to Kayla right now, but it's also relevant to her peers that will soon be experiencing the same changes. Poor body image and body dissatisfaction is a potential risk factor for depressive moods and low self-esteem in early adolescent girls. The stage of early adolescence that Kayla is currently going through is associated with an increase in self-consciousness and concerns about peer perceptions. The notion that Kayla is withdrawn from her students her own age can be linked to feelings of body dissatisfaction, as she may have a decreased sense of self-worth. It is for these reasons that the BodyThink program and its specific aims has been identified as a way to assist Kayla in improving her success at school.
As an adolescent, Kayla is going through major changes within her life, body, and brain. Focusing on her cognitive recognition, Kayla has begun to fall behind in classes that she previously succeeded in due to an overload of information and her inability to process this new information. This problem can be attributed to many differing theories, but falls best within the category of cognitive load and working memory versus short-term memory. As an adolescent, Kayla's brain is beginning to change from a concrete learner to a formal thinker, going from needing specific tasks set out for her onto more complex modes of thinking that incorporate abstract modes of thinking that stray from the realm of structure. Kayla's inability to comprehend maths and science can be due to the fact that she has yet to fully evolve to the stage of a formal thinker, keeping her from reaching her full potential. Another reason behind Kayla's academic shortcomings could be due to her inability to process and retain information being taught to her. Due to all the changes in her life, Kayla's brain is simply not taking in information and retaining it. Continuous rehearsal of information helps us remember and store information in our long-term memory, but Kayla is having trouble remembering concepts and ideas due to her inability to retain. This can be explained by her cognitive load, her extraneous cognitive load. The way maths or science are being presented to Kayla could be difficult to comprehend due to her inability to comprehend formal operational modes of thinking. One type of inhibition is the ability to select task-relevant information while simultaneously suppressing the influence of distracting information that conflicts with task demands. The thing with adolescence is, there are many overlapping areas that cause inability to comprehend. Kayla's thinking stage could be less than that of her classmates, which creates an extra load on cognitive recognition, which creates an inability to retain knowledge in her long-term memory, which creates a discord between her schooling and her attitude. Kayla is a physically mature student, but her brain is struggling to catch up. The brain's transformation is every bit as dramatic, but, to the unaided eye, is visible only in terms of new and different behaviour. So how can we help Kayla? In high retention subjects like maths and science, repetition is key, as well as scaffolding. Scaffolding is a method of teaching that helps students bridge the gap between concrete learning to formal thinking. A scaffold is just that, a support system in place to help a student identify abstract ways of thinking with a safety net underneath. For instance, Krista Hemmelgarn devised a way to help students still in the concrete learning stage to grasp a concept of working with negative numbers by creating a number line so students could physically see what the numbers were doing. Scaffolding is a terrific way to bridge gaps, as well as show Kayla she's not behind, she's just at a differing stage to that of her classmates. As well as scaffolding, the inclusion of Kayla's passions, such as art, could help her better grasp different concepts by utilising her strengths to build up her weaker subjects.
As teachers, we want to see our students succeed. I will take into account the biopsychosocial model when teaching. This model is a way of understanding and help preventing school failure. The biopsychosocial approach highlights that there are biological, psychological, and social factors that affect the lives of our students, and that these factors work together and to either influence risk or resilience in adolescence. These factors include biological factors such as genes, puberty, hormones, and brain development, psychological factors such as identity, personality traits, emotion regulations, and self-control, and social factors such as social context, family, and socioeconomic status. These factors, as well as life events, daily battles, and financial and cultural demands, can affect adolescents and place significant strain on student performance and well-being. It is important as a teacher to understand this and to take into account that there is more to a student's behaviour and performance at school than what you see in class. Teachers should go beyond the classroom and understand that adolescence is a difficult and confusing time in a student's life. Although it might be difficult to do so and detect what is affecting students without pushing the boundaries of a student and teacher relationship. However, we can make ourselves available to help students when in need and build positive relationships with our students, as well as taking into account that there may be other things going on in students' lives affecting their schooling. Teacher understanding of the changes that occur in adolescence and that students may be affected by many other factors in their lives may assist students in resilience and dealing with these issues to help better their performance and school experience. I hope to take this into account and utilize this approach when teaching. I will aim to provide caring relationships, opportunities for participation and contribution, and provide high expectations of students with support to assist in promoting resilience in my students.
The content I have learned throughout the course of this unit has allowed me as an aspiring PDH-PE teacher to become significantly more aware about the various issues that adolescents can experience while transitioning through this life stage. Firstly, it was the notion of how adolescent cognitive development can influence how young people learn and therefore influence how I will teach. This process was started after reading about Piaget and his theory about this subject. The idea that adolescent students I will be teaching, given their age, should all be in the formal operation stage of development, meaning they can think more critically and abstractly to problem-solve tasks. However, upon further reading, it suggested that individual differences in development means this is most likely not the case. Due to this, I know I must not convey a one-size-fits-all approach to teaching, and that different explanations and examples may be necessary to cater to the learning and understanding of my students. Secondly, it was the difference in biological development experienced by young people and how this can impact upon them. More specifically, the differences in developmental timing and how this can affect an individual on a number of different levels. I have developed a greater understanding of how young girls can experience this time. I believe this will not only make me a better teacher, but it has made me a more well-rounded individual. Sex education and puberty is a major topic in PDH-PE, and by having this knowledge I can appreciate that a focus on the physical changes is not enough and that I must teach my students the influence social constructs can have during this time.
As a future teacher, the amount of new information I've been given has been overwhelming. A vast portion of that information has been dedicated to the biological makeup of adolescence and how the changes of puberty and maturation can affect how we as teachers actually teach. In particular, the biopsychosocial model helped me better understand that all aspects of a student's life need to be accounted for when we teach. A student's home life can greatly impact how a student's attention is affected in class, and combining the importance of all three models allows for a greater depth of understanding when it comes to fulfilling a student's need. Another model was the Piaget method, which allowed for different learning levels within class and accepting that students learn at different paces. Piaget allows for a better understanding of the operational modes of a student and whether they are yet to grasp abstract modes of thinking or if they still need the extra help to bridge the gap between concrete and formal. The thing about teaching adolescents is that everyone is different, and as teachers we have to take all these differing information into account. Dedication to providing ongoing support for students stems from an understanding of what makes an adolescent tick. Once we have a broader education on this, we can apply our learnt knowledge when it comes to teaching our students.